All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for SSSS Gridman, episode 9. I'm
So
good at that. All right. So
we had a few things happen last episode that were kind of big. Mainly Akane and Rika's conversation.
Yeah, that was pretty big. It's reinforcing that in some ways there might only be a few real people actually involved in this whole story.
Well,
and that's kind of big deal.
Well, kind of big deal, but also does that make them any less real?
Right.
Because,
well,
you know,
in some ways I don't think so to Akane, because she cares enough about this world in a twisted way in order to fix it. So she has certain characters or people that she likes and she keeps them in. And
if they're able to be themselves long enough, does it really matter if they started out as just a program that was built to do something, right?
Yeah.
Because then they're given will, essentially.
Right.
So
the real question, like the follow up from that then is, wait, are there any other like real, any real people out there besides maybe Yuta and Akane? Like, or is that it?
Or is Yuta a
or
real
is Yuta
person?
even real?
Or are all of them real? Is maybe, Rika real too, but, Akane was just trying to get under her skin or something.
Right.
Or
is this all some simulation where they're all real and these are just effigies of people that are real, but they're more representations of them based on Akane's perspective of them or something?
And then how does Chief Over Justice Lagan fit into all of this?
Yeah, in some ways the whole Gridman, Chief Over Justice Lagan thing feels like it's the conflict that transcends this.
Right.
And that's where things get big. So we've been given a lot of breadcrumbs and all kinds of things here, but without further ado, y'all, let's get into this. Oh, cool. That's so awesome. The way it just slowly formed into the environment. And Dream.
Well, this is a different one. Wait, is this like gonna show what happened before, maybe? Oh my god. Wait. Wait, or did Akane reset everything and swap places with Rika?
And the computer's not here.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Wow.
What the
heck? There's Gridman on that billboard.
Yeah, but there's no kaiju.
Oh, and then it's gone.
Oh, dang.
No way.
What is happening?
Man.
Yeah, he looks at his wrist.
And it's almost like there's a spiral in his eye. Right, and then they go by the store to get the. Oh my god! This is terrifying.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Now the crazy thing is.
Whoa! That was Samurai Caliber.
Holy crap.
So they're trying to wake him up, basically.
Yeah.
They're trying to... Oh. My heart stopped. Not my heart started racing. My heart stopped. That's... Oh, did you see that?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Oh man, I love how they're doing this. This is amazing.
Whoa. So she's systematically going to each one of them.
Yes, yeah.
She's doing her whole visual novel adventure, basically, with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the main character to all of them as my side character.
Uh-huh.
We've seen all this before.
Right.
怪獣好きなの？これとか分かったりする？
ヤドカリンじゃないの？
じゃあこれは
レイオニックバースター。
Oh my god. He's like,
いや別に
ウルトラメカセレクション2か。これだったらこの間中野
the way he's like, he's both, he's
Like-
instinctively like wanting to run away, but then he's also like, whoa.
一緒。
気使わなくていいよ。いない。
Akane seduces all of
いないっ
them.
ていうか。
そうなんだ。
アレクシス。
Oh,
お呼びですか？
oh dang.
お嬢様。
Oh,
めっちゃ燃えてるんだ。
he's totally smoking.
コスプレだよ。
Ah.
Brilliant.
こんな燃えてる人いたら怖いよ。
ああ、だよねだよね。
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh man.
The dream come true.
Uh huh.
So this could be before, but
It could be before.
but it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be.
何まで出てたんだね。
ヘクサウィングとかもあればよかったのにね。
Oh my god, yes, with the music and
Uh-huh.
everything. Here's the thing that makes me oh
それが本来の形だ。
oh gotcha,
私を
okay.
好きになるために作られたんだから。
And it didn't work out because of
順調で何よ
Gridman.
りだよ。
ダメだ。
Oh
こ
wow.
いつら。
Wow.
やはり原因はあれか。怪獣に触れることもできないが。
いい夢見てるんでしょ。
Whoa.
Okay.
So basically, however long she wants to have fun with them,
Mm-hmm.
even though she knows it's not real. Oh. Whoa.
何してんの？
あいにく今日のグリッドマンはお休みだ。
ふざけるな。本当だ。おそらく外の怪獣を倒さない限り。
I love how he's in his like. Oh yeah, he's gonna
Wow.
go attack Akane basically. Oh my god.
Good luck.
本当に素直。
いいじゃないか。グリッドマンが消えれば。
Oh. Whoa. Oh crap. Is she stuck in here too? And she has no choice but to be the god of this world?
I'm not sure.
ちょっとぼーっとしてた。
Or maybe it's that she can't face reality.
何か
That's why
Maybe.
that's why they're all focused on the dream here.
ずっと忘れてる気がする。
Yeah, this could, like, the real world could be the dream
う
for
ま
all
く
we
言
know.
えないんだけど。
そんなのどうだってよくない？楽しかったらそれでいいじゃん。
やらなくちゃいけないことがある気がするんだ。
Mmm. See, this is something that she doesn't like to
それ
hear
って
because
私よ
it's.
り大事なこと？
いや、
Oh, wow.
ダメ。
こんなに買ったの初めてだわ。
They're at a convention.
Well, no, but just the fact that the building was covered with the Kill a Kill stars.
Oh, right, right.
でもね、こういうのに付き合ってくれる友達ずっと欲しかったんだよね。
親いないし、泊まって行ってもいいんだよ。
違うって。
え？
こんなことってあるか？
なんで？
Whoa.
夏休みだ。
Whoa.
Everyone's leaving her.
リッカも行くでしょ？
なんで？
私はいいや。なんで？茜には友達いっぱいいるじゃん。
Whoa. Oh, there
Okay.
it is.
ずっと夢ならいいって思わない？
Yeah.
夢だから目覚めるんだよ。みんな
Oh.
同じ。
Even you?
それは
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yep. Uh-huh.
私はずっと夢を見ていたいんだ。
Okay, so that is what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
俺はそっちには行けない。
Oh.
I love the way that Akane is responding to all
これ
of
は
this, though.
夢だ。
Mm-hmm.
だって俺の友達がいない。
友達じゃないの？
本当にこういう形で出会えていたなら友達だったのかもしれない。
Wow. Wow.
That's rough.
これ夢だったんだね。このまま
And she keeps saying this even though she knows what they'll
私は
say.
いけない。
Yep.
そんなのダメ。前も言ったじゃん。
And everyone else is
リクは
gone.
私の友達として生まれてきたって
Oh
でも
boy.
届かないの。
俺たちには俺たちにしかできないことがやるべきことがある。そうだろグリッドマン。
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Now it's doing all the damage. Yep.
こっちの怪獣はうちらでやれってことね。
So what are these
Gotcha.
bodies then?
So they're still dreaming, but the thing is that they're fighting the kaiju in the dream.
Sure. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yep. Now what would be great here is if Auntie transformed so that he could use them.
Ah, that's not gonna happen
Cool.
though. All right.
Awesome.
Uppercut. Oh my god. Wow.
It's all so silly, but I love it so much.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
All right. That's wallpaper right there.
Uh-huh.
あの怪獣はいなくなった。
グリッドマンはお前の相手なんかしない。
なぜだ。
お前が心を持った生き物だからだ。
Wow.
Okay.
どうしたらいいの？
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. But she can't. She's
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So this was the dream that she created intentionally. It became a nightmare over time, probably because of her meddling with it too much. And now she's stuck, addicted to the idea of what it originally could have been and trying to make it back like that.
私はここにいる。
ありがとうグリッ
So
ドマン。
I just want to know what the
君
real,
のおかげで
like,
俺たち帰って
what
こられ
the
た。
real kind
だが
of...
まだ一人目覚めさせなければならない人間がいる。
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
みんなにちょっと聞いてほしい話あるんだけど。
Sweet.
Okay.
Sweet.
This was absolutely
Because
fantastic.
they'll understand a lot more of Akane's motivations once they tell each other about what happened in the dream.
Mhm.
Now, they might have it be a thing where they don't remember what happened in the dream.
Sure,
But they
there's the things
remembered
that-
all the things that were in this experience, you know?
Right, exactly. And there's the things that Akane has told Rika in this
Yep.
dream or whatever it is. you know.
Right.
Whether it's this dream or whether it's not, who knows, but...
I still think this is all a dream. Because
Yeah,
her
probably.
being the god of this world makes only sense, in my opinion, if this is all her generated reality simulation. Or her generated, like the reason why she has all this control is probably a representation of the fact that she's connected to Alexis Carob, you know, Chief Over Justice Lagan. Like, there's...
Well-
but that's probably more the kaiju thing. But the fact that...
When it comes right down to it, though, in some ways it doesn't matter if it's a dream or not, because they wouldn't actually have any way to tell. Unless they,
Right.
like, now granted, with what they did this episode, there could be ways to tell because it's not like, the dream that they were just in wasn't a perfect one,
Right,
you know?
exactly.
But maybe that's part of the point, you know? Because I'm sure Akane is also, while she wants them all to be friends with her, she's also sick of them not choosing.
Yeah. Oh,
That is my new favorite episode
That was a
of
fantastic
Gridman.
episode.
That was absolutely wonderful. It was incredible.
Yeah,
The way
that
they,
was, that was something.
because the thing is, the whole idea of like, oh, okay, you're in a dream, you know, and which are you going to choose, kind of a thing. It's like,
Yeah.
we've seen Trigger do that before, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it was before their official Trigger days, but
For sure.
the way they did it here, though, was so much better.
Mhm.
Or at least it was so
worked
much
really well for the characters and the setting that we are in right now.
Yeah, it was more complex, like because there was that part of me that was torn, right? You know, the
Mhm.
idea of like, hey, this is
Yeah.
a good dream, right? Where you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about, you know, kaiju and all that stuff, and you guys can get along and everything.
But you did isolate the three of them.
You did isolate the three of them.
Yep.
And, you know, and it's something where where Akane needs to grow.
Yep.
But at the same time, it shows that she really does want something that like who can identify with, you know, with wanting to have friends, right? Like that's of course she would, right? And she wasn't being like sadistic in this dream world or whatever. She was actually going for a fairly normal, like, oh yeah, we might have actually been able to have these kinds of interactions in, you know, the real world or the one dream up or whatever it is,
right?
You know, if not maybe for some things that she did, right? So it's great because she's kind of acknowledging to herself, even if she might not be fully acknowledging it, that she made mistakes, right? And she's trying to fix them, but she's not really trying to fix them, because if she was really trying to fix them, she would address them in the real world, right? As opposed to trying to make it as if they never happened,
right?
Which, again, how can you blame her? Because I know I have had so many times where I was just like, oh man, why did I do that? And then it's like, I wish I could just make it so that didn't happen, right? But
what real people and real life situations have to do is you have to acknowledge the mistakes you made and work on yourself,
right?
And Akane doesn't do that.
No.
In fact, she's probably so tired of working on her environment and prepping and priming everything to be as easy for her as possible that she doesn't think of herself as actually being fallible at all. Hence That's why she's a god.
Well, and hence the apartment with the trash everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like because that can be the more simple, you know, thing that we saw at the beginning
that
of
she's depressed
or at least that she's that on the outside, you know, she's all bubbly and all that stuff, but on the inside it's a bag of cats, right?
And that is true in that she is definitely broken in a lot of ways, but it's also true in that she is very unwell in terms of like just happiness and joy,
and that she needs to take care of herself. It's
so what she needs is a hero, Gridman, Yuta, the Gridman Alliance, the
helping hand, the friends,
And I love that in some ways you can even see when it comes close to that, she doesn't actually really want to help herself either.
Right.
Because when she's had people like Auntie come in, and I think Auntie must be kind of an enigma in that she obviously kind of made Auntie to be this way. Because Auntie's obsession with I have to destroy Gridman is a bit too singular to be a, you know, And maybe an experiment of making a kaiju that, you know, she could be friends with, but she now slaps him or them away just constantly anytime Auntie's trying to help Akane with defeating Gridman. And then we hear in this episode where Chief Overjustice Lagan is like, well, you want to destroy Gridman, right? And she's just like, Like she does not want to destroy Gridman at all.
And it's funny because the fact that Chief Overjustice Lagan didn't kill Auntie, but apparently he was supposed to.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I don't see Auntie as being something that will become a thing that will cause Akane to be more easy to manipulate. Other than the fact that I guess Auntie's just failing to do what she wants, right? So it's sort of like this annoyance. But the thing is that she doesn't want everything like her. Well,
okay. I have two explanations for that. And I think they're really obvious. One is Auntie is a weapon to use against Gridman. So either a distraction for when Chief Overjustice Lagan finally makes his move.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
And he can just catch them in the middle of their fight and one-shot Gridman or what have you. The other reason is actually because it's stressing out Akane. She's more easy to manipulate for him.
Sure.
So
and yeah, but I love the idea that basically it's the issue of, you know, Akane, for all intensive purposes, could have made them all, right? Even in this reality, right? Because who knows if this is real or not.
In fact, she could have formed herself in a way to be more or less the perfect person. In fact, that's actually something that was brought up by Utsumi early on of like her being just perfect in a lot of ways.
And how much of that is people's perception of her versus her making herself that way. Which,
I would not.
Which that could be a great like deconstruction on the whole idea of the waifu, you know, kind of a thing.
That she designed herself to be a waifu in this world, basically.
Which is
I'm telling you, it's
like,
someone with a video game admin creative tools in this virtual environment or what have you, and she's basically just like, all right, this is the environment, and I'm going to have just fun and escape the real world and just be in here.
Well, and
I'll be the god of this world.
Right, and the biggest thing that always made me think like it's probably not that is the fact that that the characters have their own will, right? Which makes it feel like they're real people that have been ported into this. But then if that's the case, it couldn't just be a basic game,
right?
But given that how things are now, they could actually just make it be an actual game, and Akane is just a smart programmer or something, right?
Sure.
And she's designing it and all this stuff, and basically just have it be something where the characters are programmed enough to be similar to people so that they can make their own decisions and basically surprise her even in ways that she doesn't necessarily like.
Right. And that's the real kicker there, is that maybe at the beginning she liked the fact that they had their own free will, because it was like it's like I get my perfect set of friends, and maybe it did last for a while.
Fake. Yeah.
But eventually things just went out of whack. Maybe because of Akane's own personality flaws. Maybe because of the fact that she created so many other interesting people that they ended up being more interesting than her. And then she's like, well, I got to delete them out of existence. They keep, screwing up my whole thing. That's the whole thing with the girls that stepped on the, or they crushed the sandwich or what have you.
Yeah.
The homeroom teacher, stuff like that.
And it's great because they could, like, okay, if Trigger really wanted to, they could take this all the way to the point where basically it goes out of all of the, realities, right?
Right.
And then Akane's sitting there, and basically she has learned because of these characters that that she designed that she needs to work on her. Right. And then from there, they could almost straight up break the fourth wall and basically be like, just turn to the audience.
Yeah, really.
and be like,
not even kidding, they really could.
Like, there are so many things that they could do here, and are they going to do that? I don't know. They could have it be something that's more impressionistic and like easy to pick up on the message, even if they don't actually break the fourth wall.
Right.
But
there has been a lot of things that make it seem like there's hints of it being either a lot of referential stuff, because the thing is, I don't know a lot of tokusatsu stuff, but they're mentioning things that like they have to be real,
right?
And a couple of them I'm pretty sure are real, right? In our world,
and even if they may be like
just
I wouldn't
references or what have
references, and I wouldn't be surprised if they like slightly
change one letter or something so that to avoid
to avoid that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, then if it's stuff that's based on the real world, then that gives even more credence to the concept that they could eventually just go out of all the video games and stuff, which would be crazy. So
Akane's character is not the main character of the conflict, but the main character of this world. And I want to see if I can extrapolate what I'm going through with this, is that Yuta was brought in as a character.
He's the protagonist.
He is the protagonist, but that's the thing. The protagonist doesn't have to be the main character. Just because Yuta is the protagonist and he is the one that has the purpose, the goal, the inborn thing, there's a lot about him that I feel like is so meta that in some ways you look at Akane's way that she's changing things and stuff, and it's almost like she basically just set herself up accidentally to be the antagonist of this world.
Well, and
didn't even mean to. Really.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it was that she kept doubling down on this by like reversing the memory and stuff.
Because people don't like to be meddled with. Is the thing.
And human will. That's such a big thing with Trigger's stories and stuff.
Oh man, and if they end up doing this, then that makes that it makes so much sense too, because if you think about the main three characters, all right, they're kind of, there's not much to them.
Yeah, there's not much to them.
No. Which would be one of the most amazing, great ways to basically just mind F with the audience, because it's like, oh yeah, no, these were characters that Akane just made, right? They're just characters in a story, right? They've got their quirks. One of them is the nerd.
Gridman Alliance.
Right, exactly. One of them's the nerd that likes the robots, and then Rika is sort of just the girl, like the other girl kind of a thing,
right?
And then Yuta's
you have the main character,
right, that has amnesia, or whatever. Right. But then there's the fact that, like, if she's again making this game, then what's the marble? Why does Yuta remember having amnesia? Like,
well, here's the thing. I think that might be the
Chief over Justice Lagan. That actually might be the thing that makes this all fall apart. The fact that
hold on. Here's the thing that I think we need to remember here with regards to what they showed in this dream kind of setting kind of thing, where there's like an AU of this simulation, if you will, is that there were things that bled through.
Yes.
Now, the reason for that, I believe, has to be kind of extrapolated, but here's one that I think that covers a lot of the bases, is that Akane's focus was so strained to the limits to make sure that she isolated all three of them, gave them their own superficial realities, trilocated herself, did all this stuff, that she couldn't keep everything running properly. Now, if you think about the symbolism of that, it's basically showcasing what her mental state is at, is that she's got her hands in so many pots, like trying to fix all the things, that it's stressing her out, making her more frustrated, more antisocial, more of a...
No, she doesn't socialize with anything.
Yeah. More frustrated, basically more of a problem, that she perpetuates this conflict in the dream and ends up pulling them out of it. But it's also something that's happening in the real world, where she's having to micromanage so many things that it's basically gotten her to this point where she forcibly enters them into a dream. She stops micromanaging the details and just uses blunt force trauma, essentially, and goes, I just gotta see if I can get them in now, because that's all I have. And now she's basically given up. The whole point where she's up on the crane, basically like, we know what you're pointing at, Trigger. Like,
she was trying to kill herself.
Yeah, she can't. She can't. And that's the thing that I think is either the question of, because it's not really clear, but I think she does want to be here, is that she wants to be here, but she's trapped in a design of her own making, in that she made this nightmare what it is, but she cannot face it. So she would rather consistently try to fix and reset things and do it as many times over and over again to see if she can get it right. Because whatever her reality that she can't face is, this is better. It's still better for her.
Right. And
whatever that is,
here's the
this
thing,
is
though.
Still preferable.
Here's the thing, though.
And she hates that about
Here's the
herself.
thing, though. It might not actually be. So the fact that so many of these scenes repeated themselves, right? Where did this show start? It started with Akane looking up in the sky alone.
Yep.
And then there were the sparkles or whatever, and that was probably over Justice Lagan, Gridman, something like that, or something along those lines, right?
Okay.
Now with the whole idea of the tokusatsu, it's the basically the power that is granted to the person, right? In order to do the thing, right? This could just be that the power was just granted to Akane, right?
Oh, okay.
And that's and because the biggest thing that I'm trying to reconcile is how Chief over Justice Lagan and Gridman fit into all of this, given that so there's probably going to be something there, maybe, I don't know, but the fact that all of these scenes replay in very specific ways, that makes me think that these were all conversations that or interactions that Akane had in real life.
Okay.
And they didn't go the way she wanted.
Okay,
right?
so these are representations of a thing she's trying to fix in the real world?
Yeah, or basically just live in her fantasy of if I had been able to do that differently. If I was able to fit in at school and make these friends and, and whatnot.
Okay, so taking this dream episode into consideration, is this the third level of reality or is this the second level of reality?
The dream section of this episode, I believe it is the third level of reality.
So there is something beyond the
one that they
computer
woke up to.
motherboard thing in the sky,
right?
What have you?
Yeah. Because like if I think, well, and also if we think about this from like a trigger perspective,
yeah,
they need to break through that computer motherboard thing or whatever.
So there's something beyond that.
And the thing is that but because of how they've been doing things so far, they don't need to literally break through it. It could be Akane basically just waking up and realizing that she has learned things in here, and now she's going to look at life differently, and she's going to actually talk to those people at school that she's hoping to be friends with, but is shy and whatnot, and doesn't want to do that.
I love it. Okay,
but
so here's the big thing. Why is she still here in reality level 2? Basically, that's the thing. I think she wants to be here. I think she is desperately trying to stay here and just make the most of it. Because whatever this is still better than what's beyond the motherboard in her mind.
Right. Well, now, one of the things that I've wondered is that if she is the god of this world, but then she needs to use, Alexis Carib, right?
Yeah.
Is this something basically because like Gridman and Chief Over Justice Lagan, right? Good and evil, opposites, very very straightforward there it seems, right? Even though they all have their own goals, but like, what if it was? Well, no, I was gonna say, what if it's something where Akane made them as the manifestation of how she is conflicted internally?
I think that's maybe a bit too deep for this show, but I think this show's gonna have some deep stuff. But the other thing that might be along those lines, where it's something that she needs to work with Chief Over Justice Lagan, is that Chief Over Justice Lagan and Gridman are an ingrained part of this world at like such a deep level that she doesn't have the admin tools for that. And here's a way it could be like that, but it's not a video game. Is that the meta thing of all this? Is she jumped into her favorite tokusatsu show.
Sure.
And they are basically the conflict things of that.
And that basically was the gift that she was granted by whatever mysterious powers.
Because she's somewhat wanting to be a part of the world and not just an admin. She wants to intermingle with the mortals and be among them.
So that's the way they could do it.
She's partnering with that.
It could be something where Akane... This is not any kind of actual video game or something like that. It's something that Akane in the real world would have no actual control over, except that which was granted to her by this mysterious power or whatever.
When she entered it via what have you.
And hell, this could be a dream. Like this could be Akane's just dream one day,
I think that you're right though, in that whatever is beyond this, it's going to have mattered to Akane. So in some ways, like you said, it doesn't really matter whether or not it's real or not, because Akane and maybe even some of the other characters, but we'll see. This is a real thing affecting.
It's real to them. Yeah.
It's real to them, and that's maybe the thing of where this has either gone on too long.
Sure.
So things have evolved to the point to where it's now actually real.
Right.
Or it's a thing of where Akane's character journey is one that will basically end with, like you said, her waking up and being like, wow. I'm gonna fix this.
And she goes up.
I'm gonna take me seriously, and then goes to the equivalent of Utah or what have you.
And it could be just them exactly.
It could be them exactly.
And it goes through a montage of basically her going up to each of them and starting conversation,
and just trying her best.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool because I like the idea that her character is one that's slowly basically being revealed as being the main character, even though she's not really the protagonist of the Gridman conflict.
But the thing is that in some ways she is, but
Right.
But because she's basically stuck in certain ways and not able to progress, right? Both potentially literally with the whole Gridman thing and defeating Gridman, but then also as a person, then that's where basically the other characters can come in for what could end up being the ultimate power of friendship resolution.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, y'all, this was a good episode,
and it could end up being something completely different than what we're talking about.
It basically led us on a wild goose chase of speculation that I think has a lot of merit, but who knows? There's still 3 more episodes left in this show, so we'll just have to wait and see. But y'all, if you don't want to wait and see, you want to check out that next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about these stories, about anime in general. You can get involved with the community there and do events and stuff like that, and little mini-games. Or you can also talk with Jacob about his book he just published.
Yes, my sci-fi novel Battle Lines is still available for order on Amazon. The link is in the description below, so go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.